what you were doing before you started your studio, and then like what gave you the impetus to start your own thing?
Yeah, so I was originally doing it part-time. It was a passion project. And in my world, even my father did it for passion. They didn't, we didn't do it for profit in my circle when I was coming up. So my father had a full-time job and he did it as his passion. It wasn't for income. And I think that it says a lot when you do something for passion. So he did it for passion. So fast forward to about 16 years ago now, I guess, if I'm doing the math right. And I was doing it as a passion project. So I was, my goal was to empower women and empower girls. So I started this passion project where I trained girls in Maryland, and I was in grad school full time. I worked full time, and this was not my full time job. It wasn't for money. It was a sole passion project until it wasn't. Kind of happened abruptly, and it wasn't planned at all. But I think, looking back, I think everything's done by design. And I did lose my job. I was working in corporate America and climbing the corporate ladder as you're supposed to. And, you get your degree and you do this so you can get better opportunities. And so I was in grad school. I was doing all the things, or thought that I was doing all the things right. I wasn't. And then lost my job a month after I got married. So, and that's a whole nother story. But our honeymoon phase ended super fast. And it was kind of like, oh crap, like what now? What are we going to do? And it was fight or flight, like super fast. And we had to shift and pivot. And again, I didn't know how to run a business. I was in corporate America doing this as a passion. So learning how to run a business while losing your job and trying to figure out, of course, naturally I wanted to go get like another corporate job. That's all I knew. But my husband, who again, done by design, because now he's my husband, it's a month after we got married. So now he's invested too, right? Who is a self-made entrepreneur and was like, why don't you do it full time? And I was like, what? Because in my circle, again, it was all done for passion. We income, and I didn't know anything about running business. So we just kind of dug our heels in the sand and, figured it out. And it was hard. And I'm grateful that I had a husband that was supportive in that way, because, I would have gone back to corporate America because that's all I knew. And then we just kind of grinded it out for a couple of years until the business replaced the income I was making before. And now here we are 16 years later, but it was not planned. I think that that's a huge, significant part of my story, because I never went out to open an all-female school to have a successful business. That wasn't why I did it. And I think that speaks volume to why the business is where it is now, if that makes sense.